Here's a video for those of you that missed the day we started the Fairfax County crime lesson, or you fell behind and I just couldn't be everywhere at once. So I'm going to assume, though, that you all know how to download data from the classes share drive. This one was called 2019 Fairfax County Crime, something like that. And you download it to your desktop and you successfully unzipped this folder, the ArcGIS 2017 USA data, and this other one called the Fairfax County, the new Fairfax County crime folder. Um, the, the the ArcGIS 2017 data has all the census data in it and some other data that we're familiar with, and we're going to use some of that. And we also are going to use data that's from the Fairfax County crime folder. It's inside this geodatabase called ffcocrime.gdb. We'll get into what those are later, but they're just a fancier, superior way to store your data. And it has a lot of data that we're going to use also, but all in one place, so it's handy. And so like right now, if we were to go over and look at this map, and look at its properties, the this is a this doesn't have a projection on it yet. It's just a blank map. Okay, so what we have to do is first bring in some data, and when you bring data into the software, we're going to bring in this border, the Fairfax County border. When you bring in data, the first data that you bring into the map will set the projection. So whatever the projection is on this Fairfax County feature has set the projection for the map. It's just a default thing that the software does. So let's see what it got. It has GCS, that means Geographic Coordinate System, World Geographic System, 1984. This was developed for the GPS system, the GPS satellite system, the Global Positioning System, what it really stands for. And but the problem is it's a geographic. It's a sphere. So we're going to change this, and we're going to give this a projection that is the most accurate projection you can give Northern Virginia. Okay, so we'll right click on map and go to properties, and here we will go to the coordinate system projected. Let me drag this down to make it bigger. Go to projected and go to state plane, and we're going to find 2011 US feet, and then scroll down to Virginia. Here's Virginia South and North. We live in Northern Virginia, so we'll use that one. Make sure that's the one we clicked on, and then hit OK. And you'll notice it kind of narrowed it up, and that's the accurate. I know that that's the correct projection, and you can confirm that's set. Now let's change this a little bit. We're going to clean this up by making the fill no color, and then making the outline color black, and then make it 2 point. Yeah, 2 point, and then apply it. And so now we have that, and that looks good. Okay, so we've got this map set up in the projection that we want. We see our reference border. So we're going to now do something here with what's called the environments. And to do this, we click on Analysis and Environments, and it brings up things like our workspace and Scratch workspace. They're both within this crime analysis. These two workspaces versus Scratch, it's hard to tell how they're even different, but we're not going to worry about that. But what is interesting is that notice that it says the output coordinates. It's going to be NAD 83 State Plane North. What that means is that anything we do when we export data, let's say we try to trim some data down to just Fairfax County roads or whatever it might be, that when you export, it's going to get that projection. No matter what it was in when you brought it in. It could be in some geographic or maybe a UTM projection, but whatever you bring into this map and then trim to the, you want it to trim it to just inside Fairfax, it's going to take this projection, this coordinate system, which is the one that we want our project to be in. So that's what's nice about setting the environments, is that you can bring data in from all kinds of places or with different projections, and this environment setting will automatically force them all to be in the project the coordinate system that you want. So that's important to have that set. Then we'd also want all of our processing to be limited to within Fairfax County. And that's important because if you don't say this, then it will sometimes interpolate things but beyond the border. And that's, you'll see that if you, the best way to notice this is that when you expect it to be just inside Fairfax and you get a lot of spillover, like the paint or like a watercolor and some of the paint went beyond the lines, then that means you didn't set this. So our processing extent right now, it just says as specified below, and we're going to set it to the Fairfax County border. Okay, and whereas that's like keeping within the lines, this other one, this raster analysis, is more like masking tape that you put on a wall to keep paint from spilling out onto another surface. So it's a little, I can't really give you a good analogy for this, but it's the same idea, similar idea to processing extent, and we want that to also be set to the Fairfax County border. Okay, if it says anything else, change it to Fairfax County border. And then you hit OK. Well, let's first make sure that I got everything here. Yeah, there's a lot of things here we don't need. We're not going to worry about that. Okay, so now that's done. That's sort of a house cleaning step or housekeeping set. Okay, now we're going to add the data from the census tract, from the 2017 census tract file. So to clean this up a little bit, I'm just going to collapse this new data and open up 2017. Open up census and then grab the little slider here, the blue one, and drag it down until you find tracks. Open up tracks, right click on them, and add them to the current map. And there they are. Now it looks a little better now with Fairfax on top, so we can be a little bit more oriented. So what we'll do is now we're going to limit them to just Fairfax, but we're not going to use a clip because I want to show you something else that we need to do. Okay. All right. So to do this, we're going to have to do a selection. Okay. Select out just the census tracts that are inside Fairfax County. So let's take a look at the census tracts attribute table. This is really the most important part of this little step we're doing now. I know you could clip these. I know you could use do a select by location. Give me, what are the tracks that are inside Fairfax County? And that's a location selection. But I want to do this like this so that you understand what these mean, because this is one of the questions that you have to answer. Question number 8. You see the state FIPS? There's a state in the United States that has state FIPS code 15. I can't remember what it is. I know Virginia is 51. Okay, but every state has its own unique FIPS code, and every county in America has its own unique county FIPS code. Okay, and if you combine the two, state and county FIPS, you'll notice that you take whatever the state's 15 is plus the 007, you get 15007, and that tells you that this county is in this state, and they're combined here. And then if you look at this tract next to it, that's a unique tract number. Each of these little polygons that you see, these fine lines, these polygons have their own FIPS code also. And to describe them, where they are in the United States, you need to tell what state they're in, what county they're in, and what the tract code is. And that's what you see here. 15 came from the state, the 007 came from the county, and the 041200 here is the FIPS code for the tract itself, and all of those matched up together, it's called concatenated, I think. Um, that word means that they've all been put together to make a unique record for every FIPS code in America. Okay, so that's really important. So we're going to use the state and county FIPS to just get the census tracts that are inside Fairfax County, Virginia. So here's how we do that. We go to back to map, and we're going to select just these by going into map, select by attributes, and tracts is highlighted over here, so tracts is in the box right there. And let me show you something else, by the way, because this is something people have had a problem with. Watch what happens if I'm on this barrel here. Do you notice that I'm not able to move Fairfax to the bottom, and I'm not able to move tracts to the top? The only way you can do that is when you have it listed as drawing order. Then you can move things around. Okay, so if you ever find that you don't have control in your contents pane, make sure you're in drawing order, because you're changing the order of the layers. Okay, so how we have that, this is highlighted. We go over here to where did it go? Say locate? No. So I'll just pull it up again. Select by attributes, tracts, new selection, add a clause, and we're going to search state and county FIPS, and it's going to be equal to what I'm going to type here. I'm going to type in 51 for Virginia and 059 for Fairfax County. Okay, this is also in the instruction prompt. So you should have STOCO FIPS, state and county FIPS, is equal to 51059, and then okay, we're all set to go, and then run it, and you should see that it's highlighted all of the tracts inside of Fairfax County. So let's right click on that to make its own layer. We got to right click on the state and county tracts, or I'm sorry, on tracts, and go to data, export features. We're going to export from tracts, and we want to name them. So I always just click on this window or on the folder. It's easier. It's going to go to the same place, and FFCO tracts 2017. I think that's what it's called. Yep. And then save it, and then run it. And over here you can see Fairfax County Tracts 2017 was created. If I turn off tracts, you can see that it's there. So we don't need this tracts anymore, so I'm going to Fairfax County Tracts. Okay. Save the project. Okay. Now this is also a time when you're supposed to take a screen capture. This would satisfy your answer for number 12, the study area. And if you were to take your screen capture right now of the table of contents over here down across to get your map, you wouldn't get any credit, because you need to switch it to list by source. It looks like a barrel here. And what you'll see now, you see my name in here, or initials JWPRUESS. You're going to see your student ID number. So I would want you to take the screen capture from this view under list by data source and capture the table of contents with your ID number and the map. And that way I know you're doing that, this is your original work. Okay.